This week I capture one of the most amazing sunsets at JFK, fly on a plane that has absolutely no life jackets, and experience nearly 2 hours of constant turbulence. Yes, it was time to get the sick bag. Good morning from a bluey-skied New York's JFK's Terminal 4, and today we're flying Delta first on their connection service up to Chicago O'Hare. So, without further ado, let's get checked in and see what Delta have to offer when you fly first to Chicago O'Hare. Delta operate out of Terminal 4 here at JFK, which is also home to a number of SkyTeam carriers. I arrived nice and early for this one because I had a ton of work and editing to get through, and honestly, I'm far more productive in an airport terminal than I ever am sat in a hotel room. Travelling with carry-on only, it was all incredibly straightforward. Checked in on the app, breezed straight through security, and I was on my way. This flight was booked cash and cost me $208.48, approximately £157 sterling. Not bad for a flight of this length, but do bear in mind that Delta doesn't provide lounge access on a domestic flight like this. There's 2 Delta Sky Club lounges available in Terminal 4, one near the B gates and the other near the A gates. There's also a Delta One lounge available, but sadly we're not eligible for this on this occasion. But not to worry, as the Sky Club lounge is just a 10-minute walk after you exit security. Now, I do find most JFK terminals to be a little drab and depressing, so I'm hoping this lounge is the pick-me-up that I need. Upon entering the Sky Club, you'll be met at the counter by a dedicated Delta employee who will assist you in entering the lounge. You'll then take a short escalator ride upwards where you'll be met by chic lighting, floor-to-ceiling windows with great apron views, and a stunning centerpiece bar. This bar really is a beautiful, beautiful design, and yes, I will grab a cocktail shortly. To the left of the bar though is this stunning outside terrace. It all feels a bit like deja vu from that Virgin upper class flight yesterday, but it's a great feature for any lounge in my opinion. So now relaxing at the confines of the Delta Sky Club Lounge. Now there's 2 Delta Sky Club lounges here at JFK's Terminal 4. One near the A for Alpha gates, and one near the B for Bravo gates. And we've come to the one near gate A8, Alpha 8. Now, bit of a caveat, when you're flying Delta first domestically within the United States, it doesn't include, shorter routes anyhow, don't include lounge access, which in my mind doesn't sit right with me. However, the Amex Platinum saves the day. If you have a US or UK branded American Express Platinum card, or you have one of the Delta branded credit cards here in the United States, they will grant you access to the lounge. So American Express, I am very grateful. Thank you very much for saving the day. I also have the option to go and visit the New York Virgin Atlantic Clubhouse, and if we get time, I may take a look at that later on, although I am a little bit pressed for time and I've got so much work to do after I flew in yesterday on that Virgin Atlantic flight. So we are just going to chill out. I'm going to take you on a tour of the Delta Sky Club Lounge here at JFK, get a bit of work done, and then board that Delta connection flight across to Chicago O'Hare. The lounge features 2 dedicated business areas, plus a handful of small phone pods if you need to jump on a private call. It's thoughtfully laid out as well, with plenty of room to spread out and get comfortable. Drinks-wise, there was water, unsweetened tea, and a refreshing watermelon agua fresca. They also serve Rishi teas, a really solid premium brand, and the coffee machine has all the usual choices, complete with syrups and sweeteners. You've got filtered sparkling and still water on tap, a Coca-Cola branded soda fountain, and Starbucks branded filter coffee ready to go. Then there's the bar, a real showpiece, beautifully designed with seating, complimentary bar snacks, and an impressive lineup of spirits. They offer a range of wines and draft beers as well, but not everything is complimentary. In fairness though, Delta's free selection is more than enough in my opinion. I went for a margarita, salted rim naturally, and headed back to enjoy those brilliant apron views. Food options included a pretzel station, breads, cold meats, cheeses and crackers. There were sandwiches on ciabatta, a help yourself salad bar with 4 different mixes, crudités with dips and pita chips, and hot options of sautéed carrots, a creamy mustard chicken dish, pilaf rice, and a vegan tomato and chickpea stew, plus 2 selections of hot soups. I settled in to get some editing done, but it did start to warm up inside. Thankfully, there's that open air terrace. It's a brilliant spot to sit and work, and I spent a good few hours out there watching the sunset, and honestly, it was one of the best I've ever seen at an airport. Clearly I wasn't the only one who thought so either, as everyone was flocking out to take photographs too. So just chilling out on the Sky Terrace. It got a little bit hot in the Sky Club lounge, so I've just come. It's still in the lounge, but I've just come outside onto the Sky Terrace to get a bit of fresh air and a bit of kerosene. So I didn't actually know this existed. Actually, I thought Virgin Atlantic in the UK were the only ones with a Sky Terrace. So part of my ignorance, and imagine my surprise when I see that Delta have one here. They also have one over at the B Lounge as well, over at the B Concourse, and apparently that one's a lot bigger. I did try and go down there earlier, but they had a 45-minute wait time to get in, so I came over here and got straight into the lounge. So about 45 minutes to go before the flight departs for Chicago O'Hare, so I'm going to get down to the gate in about half an hour. We'll board that flight, which is operated by Republic Airways on behalf of Delta Connection, over to Chicago O'Hare. And with that, it was time to head to the gate. Everything was looking rosy until we were told of a 20 to 25 minute delay to our departure, but that soon passed and we made our way down the air bridge to board this Embraer E175. The seating is in a 2-1 configuration and we're in seat 2A today. There's plentiful rear seat storage in these leather pockets and a complimentary bottle of still Dasani water. There's a manual window blind, although of course we'll keep this open for the views, as well as overhead reading lights and personal air vents. Legroom is pretty reasonable and comfortable, and the seats do recline too, although the surrounding area could certainly have done with a clean.
Looking at the weather, unfortunately it does look like we might have some pretty constant chop on the departure, so please keep your seatbelts on for the whole time until I turn that fast belt sign on. Once again, welcome aboard.
So all aboard this Embraer E175, Republic Airways flight operating on behalf of Delta Connection. I think that's the door being shut now. We are going a little bit behind schedule, actually 20-25 minutes. However, I've been told that the flight is only a little over 2 hours, so 2 hours and 5 minutes we've been told. And as you've heard already, we've been told there's going to be quite a lot of chop on departure and quite a bumpy ride for the first hour of the flight, so it is what it is. I've just had my order taken for a drink after takeoff, and I've gone for a Coke Zero because I'm still recovering from that wonderful boozing session on Virgin Atlantic yesterday. So get strapped in and I'll show you what you get on Delta Connection when you fly from New York's JFK to Chicago O'Hare.
We are at least number 12 for takeoff. Being optimistic, I'd say about 20 minutes, but realistically, I'd say closer to 30 before takeoff. Please remain seated with your seatbelts on. Thank you.
all up in the climb now, and his prediction was right, the captain. It was around 30 minutes to get off the ground from JFK. We were 12th in the queue after about 20 minutes of waiting, so crazy. But it is very rocky up here, so all the predictions are coming true. Now, I have been served my drink, which I just went for a Coke Zero, but it really is quite bumpy up here, to be fair, so as you can see. So we're being rocked by something. So yeah, I'm going to strap in, and I think it's going to be one of those no-news flights, I think, where there's just a lot of turbulence and a lot of suspended service. There we go. The Delta First snack basket made its way around, loaded with a mix of sweet and savoury bits. Monique pointed me towards the French shortbread cookie squares, and to be fair, they really were excellent. She also handed me a bag of Cheez-It crisps before heading off to take her seat, as the turbulence was starting to get pretty intense. Well, I've never known anything like it. This one has been an interesting flight. We have had literally, the moment our wheels left the ground at JFK, non-stop turbulence. It's been moderate to severe, really, and I don't mind a bit of turbulence, to be fair. It's absolutely fine. It doesn't bother me in the slightest, but there have been some people on this flight who've been a bit nerved by it, so it is what it is. Would I recommend Delta First? No, it's not worth that extra money, but I thought, it was a reasonable price for me. I think it was only $10 or $20 more for Delta First, so I just thought I'd pay for it, and, in the nicest possible way. It wasn't too much more. If Delta First comes up on these connection flights, these Delta Connection regional sort of flights, domestic flights, and it is expensive, then I would probably say to stick in economy, because economy doesn't look all that bad, to be fair. So we're starting our descent now. I just can't believe the fact that, the seatbelt signs have been on for the whole flight, and Dominique, our flight attendant, has done her absolute best to try and make some form of service, and we got the snack basket and one round of drinks, but then she stopped because she said, look, I'm going to burn myself trying to serve hot drinks and things, which is totally fine. So yeah, it is what it is. It's been one of those flights. I've never had turbulence this bad for this length. Normally we manage to find a way out of it, but it seems we're stuck in the middle of it. So I hope you've enjoyed this rather unique bumpy ride, and I'll see you in the next one. I hope the next one's smoother than this. Well, that was a bizarre one. It's been a long time since I've done a 2-hour flight without leaving my seat, but hey, sometimes it happens, and in all seriousness, safety first. In short, I'd say avoid Delta First unless the price aligns up like this one did for me. Who knew domestic first class in the US could fall even below some of the intra-European business class experiences I've had back home? But the cabin crew were great, and we got there on time, albeit with a bit of vertigo on the side. Liking, sharing and subscribing helps me more than you'll ever truly realise, so thank you so much to those who've done it. And if you haven't subscribed, click the little icon and join me on a journey each week somewhere around the world.